is Wealth Principle 49. Can you believe it? We've been traveling through the 52 weeks to wealth for 49 weeks. 49 weeks, you've been consistently coming back, looking for the answers to building your business, doubling your income, and doubling your net worth. Wealth Principle 49 is seek to understand, then to be understood. Seek to understand, then to be understood. There is a book of the week that goes with this. Schein will be talking about it later on. There's also a new book brought into the Alchemist community by one of our celebrity coaches, by Terry Wager. We'll talk about his book a little bit later on. And most importantly, this is the first week of the year. Week numero uno, and we're starting with Wealth Principle 49. The question has come up, why does the beginning of the year start with Wealth Principle 49? And the simple answer is we started this in February last year. February last year, we put this together, and it was the last week of January, and we said we're going to start doing the 52 Wealth Principles. I've read over 300 books. I've trained a lot of people. And over the last few years, I came up with principles that were the big principles, the big chunks, and then the micro principles, the ones that, if you've ever read a book, hands to the camera, you read a book that was about success. Excellent, excellent. And you read that book and you noticed that in another book that you read, they had 7 different principles. Maybe 1 or 2 overlap. They had the 3 keys to success, the 7 principles to wealth, the 12 steps to getting all the riches that you're looking for. Who's seen titles like this, read those books? Awesome. And the interesting thing about those books is that they all are talking about these 52 wealth principles, but they don't all emphasize them. And that's because a confused mind says, no, if you keep it simple, keep it down to 3, keep it down to 7, keep it down to 12, the mind can take it in. And so when we established that there were 52 principles and that the mind couldn't handle the number 52, we had an issue, we had a problem. And so we decided, instead of giving it all in one quick shot, one quick book or one quick resource, we would have to deliver this every year. And so deliver the principle one at a time. So each week you've got one principle, one powerful principle. And the reason it started in January is because, well, COVID started in November and we had to make a pivot. We had to adjust. We had to come up with something that could bring the community together once a week instead of once a month when we were meeting before. Does that make sense? I was discovering that people were not as productive 2 weeks after the event. They were extremely productive week 1. I'd get a lot of texts back. We were getting a lot of deals going. Things were moving. People were aggressive and taking action. And then 2 weeks in, things changed. It was slower. 3 weeks in, didn't hear anything from anybody. It wasn't until the 4th week, when they knew that they were coming back, that accountability was going to be engaged, that there was going to be something to talk about, that they'd start texting me again. And so I thought, why don't we do something every single week? This way I get at the beginning of the week, everybody who just experienced something, taking action, doing things. And then right before they're about to be held accountable, taking action, doing things. Does that make sense? Weekly is a proven method. Weekly is a proven principle. If you do something weekly, you will gain something. Who here has gained over the last year from just following 49 of these principles? Hands to the camera if you've gained in the last year. Give yourselves a round of applause. And if you haven't been here for the last year and you know you would have gained, hands to the camera. If it hasn't been a full year for you yet. Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. You're not alone. In fact, this is the first time we've gone through the 49 wealth principles. So you're here with us going through it as a team. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Doreen, if you can give me a hand pulling everybody into the main room, I'm actually going to make Schein a co-host because we're missing Ron Bowling today. And I'm going to make Terry Wager a co-host and Christine McGinley a co-host. And because I can see Mitch Jorsky's not trading Bitcoin at the moment, I'm going to make Mitch Jorsky a co-host as well. So bring all of our friends into the room. And I'm just going to ask, as you come into the room, please make sure that you are respectful. Put your camera on so that other people can actually see you. And if you decide that you do not want to be seen, that is 100% okay as well. Just know that it could affect your income. The more people who see your face and get comfortable with you and comfortable with the way you look and your smile, the more likely they are to do business with you. Marketing is all about being seen, and real estate investing is all about marketing. Hands to the camera if you know I got a book coming out called Get the Deal. Yes, it's all about getting deals off market. Let's give Dorina and her sister a round of applause. Good morning. Excellent. So Mother Russia is here with us today. Excellent. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. I've got to go through this lesson quickly, so I want you to pull out a pen and paper so you have it available. This is a powerful training. If you do not understand the value of being understood when you're negotiating a deal, then you're missing out on a lot. Missing out on a ton of deals. You want everybody to know exactly why you're doing the deal. Yes, we want them to sell that house to us. We want the seller to give us something. Or if you got a product and you're owning your business, you want the buyer of your product to believe in what you're selling. And so it's very important to have them understand you. The secret to having somebody understand you is to first understand them. And it's a principle that came directly out of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Who's read that book? Hands to the camera if you read the book. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. This community reads a book a week. 52 wealth principles, 52 books. If you want to learn more about the books, you can go to gualteramarello.com, go to the education tab, and drop down to the 52 wealth principles. They're all there. I numbered them all out, and Mike Schein helped me attach a book to each one of the core principles to wealth. And so let's give Mike Schein a round of applause. Mike, do you have the book of the week? Have you read this one?
Yep, I read it. I don't actually have the hard copy. I listened to it on Audible. I actually have the hard copy, but Samantha borrowed it. So it's a good.
It's all right, Mike. Let's go into the 52 Weeks to Wealth's book 49, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I give you Mike Schein.
Thank you. So this book is so good. When you read it, you're like, wow, all these concepts are so basic. Like when you're talking to people either on the phone, you should smile, or you should use people's name, but the way that Dale Carnegie just puts it down in writing, it's like every chapter is an aha moment, and it's so good about how to relate to people and make them feel special. It's just an amazing book. If we had a foundational 10, I'm sure this would be part of it. I put it in, it's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie, not related to Andrew Carnegie, if you wanted to know that. But yeah, it's an amazing book, and it's just about how to relate to people, which is so important in what the alchemists do all the time. So that is the book of the week. I highly recommend it. Thank you.
And Mike, if somebody was looking to pick that book up, how would they do so?
I'm sure that Mitch Jaworski could throw a link in there if he wanted to. I'm having a little trouble, so I'm making my money elsewhere. So if Mitch wants to get a link for that,
Mike, if you need support, I got you. I can scramble and grab that real quick.
That would be awesome.
I got you. Give me 30 seconds.
I recommend it. It's if you're gonna do it on Audible, I would listen to it like 3 or 4 times. It's just so good. It's foundational. It is totally foundational.
Let's give Mike Schein a round of applause. And thank you, Mike, for sharing the book of the week with us each week. It's a powerful book. This book absolutely changed my life. I listen to this book every year at least twice, because I am a speaker. My job is to give you ideas that you've never heard of before, you've heard of before, but to get you to look at them differently so that you have a profound impact on your life. And here's the secret to success. Everything that I teach, you've already heard. Everything that I talk about, you already know. Nothing that I have created or provided for you is something that you didn't already know inside you or you've heard from somebody else. All I'm doing is revisiting it, reminding you of its importance, putting it together in a space where you can move forward powerfully. Does that make sense? I made a post the other day on Facebook and on Twitter, and it said, you don't need more knowledge. People think they need more knowledge to be successful. That's not the truth. You don't need more knowledge. What you need is to apply the things you already know. You need to believe in the principles that you've already been taught, the things you've already agreed to. The 52 wealth principles are a reminder. They're there to bring you back on track, which is why they work every single year. We will be starting over again at the end of January. Last week of January, we'll be starting over. And the reason we're doing that is because you've built your business. Everybody, hand to the camera if your goal is to become a millionaire. Hands to the camera if you're looking to create a lot of wealth for you and your family, a lot of abundance so that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want. Excellent. We've got a community that scares most people. Most people are afraid to talk about money. Most people are afraid to want more, even though they deserve more. Who here knows that you deserve more in life? That you can be more? That you deserve to have the life that you want? Absolutely you do. I agree. But most people are afraid to dream. Most people are afraid to see outside of the fears, other people's opinions of them, what other people think they're capable of. But understand, nobody has the right to tell you what you're capable of. I see some champions out here. Some millionaires are in this call right now, and they know that they can do more. There are millionaires in this call right now who've already made $1 million, who are crushing it in real estate or in their business, and they're here because they know they can do more. They know there's something next after this. There's contribution. There's giving back. Where are my coaches at? Hands to the camera if you're a coach in the mentorship program or a coach outside of it. Hands to the camera, yes. Give yourselves a round of applause. The irony of all the coaches in this group are all millionaires. Every single one of them has made $1 million, and yet they're here contributing. And I put a special acknowledgement in my forward of the book that I just put out to the coaches who have been working with us. I thank you guys and gals because you make it easier for me to build my mission, which is 100 millionaires. Ironically, I'm missing my shirt today. So Terry Wager's got the shirt, 100 millionaires. Christine's got the hoodie, just came in. We've got Mitch Jorsky. He's got the shirt. I'm rocking my old shirt, the Real Estate Alchemist. So I got to do some laundry. Doreena's been gone, so I'm understaffed at the moment.
Oh, wow.
It's the worst, Terry. Honestly, back when I lived in Fall River, I would just take my laundry to a person and she would do it all for me. And now that I'm here in Tampa, she said, no, there's a laundry machine. And she never allowed me to build my team and my staff. So, so it's a work in progress. I'm getting back to how I do things. So I will be looking at some point this week. By the way, if you know somebody in Tampa who does laundry and folds it, I will pick up.
There's the place called Dry Cleaners.
Yeah, I just got to go and find one that does it the right way. So it's, I like referrals. So going back to it, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Understand that everybody out there wants to be heard. Every human being on the planet is looking to be listened to. If you can understand the key core group principles that every person has inside of them, which is a voice that they know has to be shared. If you can understand that key principles in every single person, that's one thing that you can seek to understand. If you give them that one thing that they're looking for, just to be understood, just to be heard, then they'll make sure that they reciprocate. There's the law of reciprocity, which is one of the wealth principles. The law of reciprocity states that when you give something, you will also receive something. People want to give to people who've given already. The irony, we say we work for free before we're paid more than anybody could ever pay us, more than we could ever work for. We work for free. We put it out there first. We smile first. If I smile, you smile back. That's part of the way the laws of nature are. When somebody smiles, you feel like you have to reciprocate. That's the law of reciprocity. When somebody hands you a gift, remember at Christmas, who here has ever received a gift before and didn't have a gift to give back? Got thrown off by that one. Whoa, hold on. I got, instantly you're like, what do I got on me that I can give them? Yes, it's familiar. That's the most powerful version of the law of reciprocity. Instantly it's there. It's like, wow, I've got to give something. And for some people, I've been teaching and training for the last 3 years for free. Well, 2 years for free. And I still teach for free, even though we do have programs where we can charge and we can pay for them and you can get more. The free stuff I will always do. And what it does is it creates, I've had people tell me that, look, I've been listening to you. You've added so much value to my life for the last 2-3 years that I feel like I just owe you this money. And I'm glad to be part of the mentorship. I'm glad to do it, but I feel that at this point I've gained this value. Who's thought of that, or who knows that there's people out there like that? Hands to the camera if you know. Yeah, it's true. And it's a cool feeling. This is how it works. Seek first to understand. The only way I could build this business is I first had to go out and ask, what is it that investors want? So we're going to write a list. Everybody ready? You got your pen, paper close by? Yes. Hands to the camera. Yes. Pen's up. I see it. Yeah, perfect. So we're going to write a list. What does, again, I know not everybody on here is a real estate investor, although you should be. At some point, you want to buy some real estate. Who here is a business owner? Hands to the camera if you're a business owner. Awesome. Awesome. I see my business owners. I'm over on page 2. I see you too. Awesome. And hands to the camera if you're a real estate investor. Excellent. Excellent. So my real estate investors, my business owners, who here invest in stocks? All 3 guys out there too, right? Invest in stocks. Awesome. Because it has a place. Whichever asset class you make the most money in is the one I want you to focus on, or whichever asset class you're looking to build and expand the most in 2021. We're going to talk about the buyer or the seller in real estate investing terms, because we make our money on the purchase. Investors, we make our money on the purchase, not on the sale. So on the purchase. So for real estate investors on the purchase, and for business owners on the sale, and for stock investors on the purchase is when you make your money. So investors, we make our money on the purchase, and business owners, we make our money on the sale. Or you can look at business the way that I do. Your clients are your employees. And so you're making your money on the acquisition, on the purchase. Does that make sense? If you don't have any employees, you don't own a business. You have a job. You're self-employed. Congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. If that was an awareness, a little paradigm shift, if you're still mad about it, that's okay. Building a business is the goal. You want to get to a position where you're making acquisitions, where everything you do is a purchase. And the best purchase you can make are the ones where other people are inspired to help you grow and expand. So we're going to write this down. The things that you want to acquire, what is their top priority? What is the most important thing to the person who controls the product that you're looking for? Whether it's somebody else's time, OPM, other people's motivation, other people's money, OPM, other people's assets, OPA, other people's assets, other people's time, other people's property, right? Assets, property. So for real estate investors, okay, if I just do this off of real estate investors, we got the most here. Hands to the camera if you're an REI. Awesome. Excellent. Okay. So we're thinking about the motivated seller. What is the top pressing need of a motivated seller? And you can actually drop it in the chat, or you can just shout it right out. What is the most pressing need for a motivated seller? Shout it out. Go ahead. You don't have to, just unmute and shout out. Okay, ladies first, Damien. Come on, bro. That was too good. That was too fast. Sandra, go ahead. Damien, you're right after.
Motivated buyers.
The most pressing need is they are looking for you. That's true. Buyers. Awesome. Give Sandra a round of applause. Awesome. Damien, your answer.
I was going to say to solve their problem.
Solve their problem. And that's what we're seeking out. Damien, if you could, as a super successful investor, go deep into that. What is their problem?
Well, we don't know. It could be anything. But, they want to sell their house fast and they need help with it. A lot of them don't understand selling to investors, right? They only know the traditional way of going to realtors. And a lot of them, they might be hoarders and they don't want people to come into their house and walk around, or they might have lost their job. They might have had a tree fall on their house with no insurance and they can't afford to, fix it. So there's, a couple examples right there.
Give Damien a round of applause. I've got another professional who buys a lot of real estate all across the country. Andrew Martin, what would you say is another reason that sellers sell?
Geez, well, those are a couple good ones right there. But yeah, realistically, there are plenty of people we buy from that simply just don't want to deal with the process, that don't want to list with a realtor, that feel like they're concerned about paying them a commission and they, honestly, they're giving it to us for a lot less than they would pay with that. But It's, all the different reasons that we've had and all the different scenarios. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me sometimes about the different things that do pop up, but it definitely can be anything. I mean, usually it's a distressed situation where properties need work and it just has to get done. But it can be, the full gamut of reasons.
It's interesting because, as real estate investors, we go out there and we're looking at the details of this, right? And I know that every investor on here is thinking the same thing. It could be a whole lot of things, but we really just named 5. We didn't really name a lot just now. We talked about distressed. It was not having a lot of money. The house is in bad shape, not wanting to deal with the hassle of a real estate agent, that somebody just died, or that they're going through divorce. Those are the 5 main arenas. And then some of the specifics is what Drew and Damien just touched on. They touched into the next level of those specific reasons. Does that make sense? It's death, divorce, or some sort of tragedy financially, something around money. So it's either relationships, health and wealth, aka death, or money. The 3 main or reasons people do things. But if you can get into the details like Drew and Damien just did, and like Sandra mentioned, if you can get into the details, you can then seek to be understood.
Well, Galter, I think you said my name because I wanted to add to it. So you mentioned health, right? We're in ever-changing markets. You got to find your edge, find your opportunity. So 2020 was COVID. A lot of people didn't want to show their home. They didn't want to list their home because they didn't want people stomping through their home. So therefore, someone that can buy it with just taking a handful of pictures or maybe not looking at it at all, like Drew does in many instances, that was a motivation for them. Like, sweet, I don't have to see anyone. I don't have to have contact. I don't have to worry about getting COVID. So, what's your edge? And you said health is one of the big ones. That was a clear example of, motivated sellers based on a health factor.
Let's give Mitch Jorski a round of applause. It's true. COVID created a lot. I love that you brought that up, Mitch, because this is a powerful tool for everybody at home. COVID literally attacks our people, motivated sellers. The demographic that we purchase from are 55 plus years old. They've typically been in their home for over 7 years, and they're in a high equity position. And they're motivated to sell because something has happened in the family. And so when something happens in the family, they need cash. They have an issue. They're house rich, cash poor. They don't have money. And so they need somebody with money to show up and take their house. Has anybody ever been in a desperate situation where you considered selling something you owned? You considered selling something you owned that you liked, that you really loved, but you were like, right now I have something else that I really want, or really maybe use the word need, and a little bit of cash would free your soul at the moment. Yes? Imagine somebody who's worked their entire lives, paid off their house, but now has a death in the family or a medical bill, or they lost their job or because of COVID, or God forbid, one of their family members passed away because of COVID. And so the only thing they need right now is not somebody feeling bad for them, somebody feeling happy for them that they're about to go make that cash, somebody giving them an opportunity, somebody taking care of them. Does that make sense? So there's a principle in real estate investing where we say, hey, what do the sellers want? What are their problems? What can we solve? What is their problem? Seek first to understand. Seek first to understand your target demographic. What do they look like? Who are they? What is their age? Where do they hang out? What are they doing? What do they own? Where are they going? What are their pain points? Really, anybody ever been on an appointment with a seller that was not motivated? Real estate agents? Yeah. Investors? Yeah. Really hard to move those people, isn't it? So we don't want to go have conversations with people who aren't motivated. We want to have conversations with people who are extremely motivated. Who here is motivated to make $1 million in 2021, 2022, or 2023? Awesome. Hell yeah. So that's why you're here. I can't have this conversation outside of this room because most people are not motivated to improve their lives. Most people, if they see me wearing that shirt, if they see me wearing the 100 Millionaire shirt, they get scared and they walk away. If they say, what is that about? and I tell them, oh, I build millionaires, they immediately think I'm going to try to sell them a coaching program. And they're like, oh, cool, nice. Dude, I'm not trying to sell somebody who doesn't want to be sold. I just want people who are motivated to get to the next level. What's $1,000? Well, now it's $1,200, but what's $1,200 if you're looking to make $1 million? Does that make sense? Motivated people do the math and they know. The only concern I ever have with a motivated person is they sometimes don't believe in themselves. That's the only fear that I've ever had to get over. That's the only concern, objection I've ever had to handle in this mentorship program. Does that make sense? People just didn't believe that they could capitalize on that money. They knew that what happened worked. Who here has had success in the mentorship? Hands to the camera if you've had success just from knowing me, just from being in this. Awesome. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause for being an amazing person who takes action on the things that you see and listen to. That's the secret to success. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back to it. So you got your pen and paper. Everybody still has pen and paper. Write down at least 3 things that you know for sure about your prospect. The prospect, the person that you're looking to help, the person you're looking to give money to, a person you're looking to improve their lives, seeking to improve one of their motivation points, one of their problems, because money only goes to people who help other people. Money does not go to people who have not added value in some way. Money only goes to people who are helping, who are giving back, who are contributing. So if you have something I want, I will pay you for it. If you don't waste my time. Does that make sense? I'm the easiest buyer. Mm-hmm. I'm always looking to buy. I'm an investor. I'm always looking to put my money somewhere, because if I put my money somewhere, that means I got something I wanted. Does that make sense? Buyers are buyers are buyers. If somebody has proven to buy in the past, they will buy in the future. So we start with small asks. We start with, well, what is your home like, right? When we're talking about motivated seller, we ask, what is going on? Can I talk to you for a few minutes about your home? If they say yes, the chances are they may buy into something else. Does that make sense? We're just asking for small purchases at first, little things, seemingly small. For people who are not motivated to sell their home, have you ever been sworn at? Where are my cold callers at? Hands to the camera if you're a cold caller, cold called and got told, F off, don't call me again. That was not a motivated person. They were not a motivated seller because they did not want to be on the phone with you. They wanted off the phone. No purchase made. Does that make sense? They did not want the first purchase. They said no to that. But if somebody says, yeah, I'll hang out with you for a little bit, I'll answer a few questions. Every question is a hoop. And as you answer question after question, the hoop can get bigger and bigger until you're booking an appointment, you're in the house, they're signing a contract, they're out of the house and you're in the house. Or hopefully it's your crew in the house and not you. Does that make sense? We see how that works. Small asks are small purchases. A purchase proves the next purchase and the next purchase. Have you ever been in one of those forms, like a click funnel, where you're going through it and you're like, I guess I'll just click the next one. I'm already this far in. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep clicking. And at the end, they ask for your email address. Would you have given your email address on question number 1? Probably not. But at question 48, you're like, I guess I'll just give it to you because I really want the results now. I'm committed to this, all in on this. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. Just expand the hooks that you're giving them, the hoops you're having them jump through. In fact, this is a part of neurolinguistic programming. It's part of sales. And we do have a neurolinguistic master in the room studying under Tony Robbins, Doug McGurk. Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. He will be talking at the end, talking a little bit about why this makes sense. And Terry Wager is also an NLP practitioner like myself. Give Terry Wager a round of applause. Studied under Mark Usick, a hypnotist. In fact, the same person I studied under. So we've got a community who understands how the mind works. It's very powerful. So seek first to understand, then to be understood. Marketing is to be understood. Sales is to be understood. But without understanding, you've got nothing. Who knows that it's really hard to create a marketing SEO image that works in social media these days. It's hard to do it on Google Ads. It's hard to get seen in all the clutter and all the noise, because you got to go a little deeper in the niche. The riches are in the niches. You got to be heard. You got to be seen. And so you got to do something a little unique. And that's why we talk about niches. That's why when Drew Martin was talking about the multiple different reasons, when Damien was talking about the multiple different reasons that somebody would sell their house, And when Mitch brought up my favorite one, COVID, lost a family member to COVID, we'll help sell that house for you. We'll buy that house from you. There's an opportunity to be made. Afraid of living in the city you live in because of COVID? Time to sell? Head to a more remote location. We buy houses fast. We'll get you out of the city. COVID is an opportunity for marketing that most investors are not jumping on. Most investors are sticking to the same old thing that's always worked. We buy ugly houses. We buy houses cash. We buy houses fast. Need to sell? Call today. We buy in cash. We buy quick. Is it odd that they all use the same sentences? Or is it common sense that they found out what the seller wants and they delivered? They deliver on what the seller is looking for. Be polarizing in your marketing message. Be very clear and to the point. I talked about ugly houses the other day on one of our calls. We buy ugly houses. Who's seen those signs? We buy ugly causes. Yes, we buy ugly houses. So as somebody who owns a home, you would not go call that house if you believed your house was beautiful, would you? In fact, homeowners, or my beautiful homeowners, the ones who own these palaces that love their homes, it's their mansion. So you would never call that sign unless you're an investor looking to find a wholesaler. But that sign doesn't reflect for you. Who here's ever owned an ugly house? Who's ever owned something pretty ugly that they hated that they were like, I might consider calling that sign? Yeah, I've owned them too. I'm not I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not proud of it. It's just part of real estate investing. And so I've also owned those ugly houses and looked at that sign and said, I wonder if they would take mine, because I was motivated. I thought the thing was ugly too, and I didn't want to do the work to get rid of it. And I'm a real estate investor. So imagine what a normal person who's been in this house for years and isn't proud of it, knows the roof is leaking, knows there's mold in the bathroom, knows that the carpets are from the 70s, and they're thinking, I don't even want a realtor to come in here. I don't want my friends to see this house. I don't want the pictures online. I don't want anybody to know I've been living this way. Just imagine what that sign looks like to them. Oh my God, somebody who wants ugly houses? I've got one of those. I'm special. Right back to who they are, their association. They want to talk about themselves. I've jumped on calls with people that say, my house is ugly. Are you the ugly house company? Of course I say yes. Yeah, absolutely. And they say, oh, well, I got an ugly one for you. I say, wow, I mean, is it your house? Yeah, it's mine. And they're proud of this and tore me through this house, show me all the problems. Is it ugly enough? Is it ugly enough? It's good. Yep, this one's pretty good. It's got a lot of ugly to it. We're missing tiles, we're missing everything. We got holes in the walls. This is what I was looking for. Is this the sort of thing you buy, you look for? Yep, these are the ones. They got excited. And I went in with an offer. Is it okay if I tell a story? That's the camera. It's okay if I tell a story. I was actually working for Tom Caffarello at the time, and he's a big investor in Boston. So I went out on the appointment for him, and he had told me I could purchase this house at $100,000. And so I went in, and the woman asked for my offer. And naturally, being the investor that I am, this was in no sales training Tom had ever done. I just am an ambitious person. I like to win. And so I go in and I say, well, our offer is $80,000. What do you think about that? And she gave me this, I don't know. I was really hoping for a lot more than that. And so I gave her this, well, I'm sorry for, if it came off as rude or that I gave a really low offer. That's just, the investor had a budget and that's what they could work with. What were you looking for? And then at that point, she said, well, the only way I could do this deal is at 85,000. At 85,000, I could do this deal. And it's, it seems like you guys aren't there, but could you come up a little bit? If you could come up to 85,000, I would close with you. I really want you to have this. I really want you guys to do this. And I told her, I was like, well, let me go outside. Let me make a phone call. So I called Tom and I say, Tom, I got this thing. She's asking for 85 instead of 100. And she's like, isn't the offer 100? That's the price I gave you. I was like, yeah, I figured I'd start low. I started at 80. She worked me up to 85. And she's really concerned that you weren't going to be able to accept the offer. What do you think? Can you make this work? And he's like, is she right next to you? I said, yeah, she's right in front of me. And he's like, well, tell her I'm going to talk to my business partner, but I'll push it through. I'll make sure it gets through. And he hung up. I go and I look at him and he said, he's going to make it happen. He's going to talk to his business partner. He's going to make it happen for you. And she got all excited. And you know what her first words were right after that? I would have sold it to you for 80. I didn't even need that extra 5. This is so much fun. Oh, I'm so excited. This is real, right? This is real. You guys are serious? Oh, we're serious. We closed on that house. Tom went in, he flipped it. He put 80,000 into it, sold it for $380,000. He made a sweet profit. I helped her get connected with a property she wanted to buy in North Carolina. She went and bought a mobile home in North Carolina. She was excited to be in warm weather. She was excited to be in her own mobile home where she could come and go as she pleased and not have this house that was falling apart with the hole in the roof that she showed me. And it was a fun experience for her. She had a blast negotiating with me. They're not all like that, but she was motivated. Does that make sense? Not every appointment will be that much fun. Not every appointment will be that easy. That one was 1 out of the 10 I went on that week, and it happened to be the one that won, the one that really knocked it out of the park. That was a purchase, an acquisition. When I worked with Tom, I would do an acquisition every few months. It wasn't all the time. It seemed like I took a lot more listings than acquisitions. My first year with him, I did 5 acquisitions for him. And I took over 100 appointments in that first year. It was a lot of appointments. That was specifically him, just his business, because I knew what he wanted. He wanted property. So I seek to understand. And I told him, I was like, I want to be one of your top guys, so I can have that relationship and get free coaching, right? Because this guy was doing 100 deals a year. And within a year, he ended up helping me build his first remote location. I ran the Cameron Real Estate Group in Fall River, and I was the first satellite office of Cameron Real Estate Group. From him teaching me, training me, coaching me, inspiring me, getting to that next level. So I seeked first to understand his desire, what he was looking for. And then I offered to deliver on it. He said, look, I need agents who'll take appointments, who can convert. I took every sales training I could find. Every sales training, any free training, anything that was affordable. I read every single book I could get my hands on, including How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then I made sure that he knew that I was going to deliver. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I told him, the only thing I'm looking for is education. I'm just looking for coaching. I'm just looking to know what you know. I'm looking to get to the next level. And I asked him one day, I said, I'm looking for a coach. And he said, Walter, I coach. I was like, well, I don't know if I can afford you. I mean, you're up there. And I said, Walter, you're in my brokerage and you're one of my top agents. I'll coach you. Absolutely. Let's set up a schedule. Because first, I seek to understand what he was looking for, and then to be understood. I was already making him a lot of money. And so for him to go and add a little value to me seemed reasonable. Does that make sense? Awesome. How you do anything is how you do everything. It's one of the wealth principles. This works all across the board. This works in every aspect of your life. You want better relationships? Seek to understand what they're looking for, and then to be understood yourself. But first, look for what that person's looking for. You want somebody who is caring, who's ethical, who's moral. As within, so without. Become caring, ethical, moral. If you want people who are easy to work with, become someone who's easy to work with. Seek first to understand what that type of person that you want would like to receive. You want to do deals, big deals? Seek first to understand what they're looking for. You don't have to be the prettiest. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the richest. You don't have to be the healthiest. But if you can deliver what they're looking for in the best fashion, in the way that they can consume it fastest, or in the way that they can consume it best, or in the way that they can feel like they've consumed it in a meaningful way, then they will work with you. We're here to improve your lives. The 52 Weeks to Wealth is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey to get you to where you're looking to go. They say focus on the journey, not on the destination. That's true. I thought when I became a millionaire, my life was going to change. I focused on building wealth out of fear and scarcity. I focused on building wealth out of a place of lack. I was proving myself. I had to prove myself and prove myself and prove myself. And guess what? Every dollar I made, I had to prove myself again and again and again, because if you build from a place of proving, well, every dollar you earn means you got to prove yourself again to earn that next dollar. And what I learned is if you change and you can build that wealth from a place of love, from a place of joy, from a place of fun, from a place of peace, from a place of abundance, then you get a life. Every dollar brings you more love, peace, joy, abundance, excitement, fun. Does that make sense? It's about earning the right dollars, not just any dollar. Do it the right way. Do it in a way that makes you want to go earn more dollars. Do it in a way that makes you feel better about what you're earning. Do it in a way that improves not just your life, but the lives of the people around you. Inspire yourself before you seek to inspire other people. I can't work with unmotivated people. I can't change the lives of people who don't want their lives changed, but I can inspire those who are motivated, people who have a high energy, people who want more. I don't even have to talk loud. I could just whisper it. I could put it in a book. I could put it in a blog, and you would seek it out and you'd find it because you want more, because you know you can become more. It's natural for the human being to desire to grow. It is absolutely natural for a human being to want more. It's our natural state to be able to seek to get to the next level, to win, to have a better experience. It's our natural instinct, and it's the healthy one. The other side of that is competition, and that's not natural and it's not healthy. It's circumstance based. It's mindset based. It's external forces that we allow in. But you have a choice not to. You have a choice to exert your energy at a higher level on the outside world. And that's what manifestation is all about. That's what alchemy is. Everybody understands that inside you, there's greatness. Yes. Inside you, there's something big that you're supposed to do, some purpose that you were set on this planet for, something that you're supposed to deliver to other people. You can't get rich by yourself. I tried. Remember, I came from an accounting background. I came from not trusting people, and I attempted to get rich, and I worked hard for years. If you've ever read the book, Broke to $250,000, I worked hard for years because I was broke, because I thought hard work would pay off. Hard work doesn't pay off. Right work does. The right work will pay off in abundance, avalanches of money. Right work, not hard work. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. I put it right there. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. There's been a valuable lesson for you so far, yes? There are many, many resources being added to the website right now to help you get to the next level, including personality tests. Your investor personality test is paramount. Seek to understand this person right here, the person who makes all decisions in your life. Seek to understand yourself first, then to be understood. So if you're attempting to go after goals that you don't really understand why you want them, your mind and body are going to fight you on that. If you say, I want to make $1 million, but you don't know how to make it, it's going to be a problem. Does that make sense? You got to know what motivates you. Go and check out the investor personality test. Go to walteramarillo.com. That's GUALTERAMARELO.com and go to education. No, it's not education. Sorry. Go to tools and then go to investor personalities. Take the free test. It's the MBTI test, except I changed the answers. So the strengths and weaknesses are focused towards investors. So go in there, find out what type of investor personality you have, and it will tell you what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And as we discussed last week in Know Thyself, don't focus on your weaknesses, focus on your strengths. Every weakness that you see there, actually the opposite is your strength. So just focus on your strengths. Focus on the things you're good at. Hire out your weaknesses. Be aware of them. Be aware of the blind spots. Be aware of the things that you're avoiding that you don't like about yourself. Be aware that they exist and fall in love with yourself. Just love you. The more you love yourself, the more you'll show love to the people around you. And it's a powerful law of reciprocity. It gets nuts. Who here knows that there's somebody in this community that loves them? knows that if they ever asked for help, that one of us would be there. Give yourselves a round of applause for that awareness, and to the coaches for helping share and spread that knowledge. We have a very special coach who has done something very impressive. Writing a book is no small task. They say every person has a book inside of them, but only 1 out of every 1,000 people have ever written a book over the time of human culture. Over the last 5,000 years, only, and I'm talking dead and alive, of all the books that have ever been created, the billions and billions, I did the math a while back. I posted it on Instagram a while back. I did the math of all the billions of people that have been on this planet and all the books that have ever been written. Only 1 out of every 1,000 people writes their book. There's a book inside each and every one of you. The reason we don't write it is because we're afraid of what other people might say. We're afraid of what other people might think. I know when I was reviewing the book that I'm writing right now, I've been teaching this topic for a long time, doing it personally. I felt anxiety when I read the final chapters. I felt anxiety, but the final read through, I felt it. This, oh my God, what if somebody disagrees with me? Oh man, like I'm being harsh in this chapter. I'm going a little too hard. And what if I offend somebody outside of the community? And I remember feeling the anxiety taking over as I was going through it, sweating. Literally, I'm reading something I created, and I'm sweating, and I'm feeling anxiety, and I'm, after a little while, I realized I'm hunched over like this, reading my own product. And I had to step back. I stepped back and I looked at it and I said, I know that this adds value. I've written a book before. I felt this experience. Last time I wrote that book, it took me a year to publish it. That book, it took me almost 2 years to publish it. I wrote that book in Vegas, but I published it last year. I wrote the book 3 years ago, but I published it last year. Does that make sense? Because the first time I felt that anxiety of what if people don't like what I put down? What if people don't like the thing I created? But this time I had experience. I had a community that backs me. I had a community that has already read many of the chapters and said, this is powerful, this is valuable, this is information the world needs, this is so cool, I can't wait to read the rest. Hands to the camera if you're in that group, if you know that Getting the Deal is going to be a powerful book. Get the Deal is very, very valuable. And so after a few seconds of fighting with myself, well, it was hours before I recognized it. Is it okay that even I sometimes experience the same emotions that I'm talking about? Excellent. Thank you for your understanding. So even though, it was hours that I was facing this, not knowing it was there, it was creeping in, I was just experiencing human emotion. But once I recognized it, I fought back and I turned that anxiety into excitement. And I realized that if I can only polarize every person who reads this book, if I could polarize everybody who reads it and inspire those who want to be on the mission to join, and the others to say, oh my God, that guy is an ass. All he does is talk about money and finding properties and how you can take advantage of somebody's bad situation and go help them, buy the property. He claims that you're helping them when you buy their house dirt cheap. Man, this guy is blah, 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 blah. Promotion, marketing. Thank you so much for sharing. Please put it on a blog if you could. Put all that energy out there so that people can decide that's the book I want. Wait, the guy who he teaches how to find the motivated people? That's what he's going after? Oh, and he says that he's adding value? Excellent. Might as well write a review for me. Does that make sense? Answer the camera if you know what I'm talking about. No such thing as bad publicity, just publicity. Now, Don't do anything bad worth bad publicity. Do things that are good worth bad publicity. Does that make sense? Be polarizing. Be honest in your message. That said, somebody has done the great feat of writing a book in our community. Somebody who's contributed a great amount to our community. One of our coaches has done the unthinkable. He's done something that only 1 out of every 1,000 people will do, even though everybody has a book inside of them. Dr. Terry Wager has written the book, Quit Taking Your Own Bad Advice. Without further ado, let's give a round of applause to Dr. Terry Wager. Dr. Terry, tell us about the book and how can we get it? By the way, let me make an ask. Is it okay if I ask the entire community, everybody who's listening, everybody at home, to go and purchase the book today? Because today is the book launch. Today is the exciting day. We're going to drop the link in the chat. I'm going to purchase it and I'm asking for you to purchase it, because if we can all read it within the next week, I'm going to ask another request. But we're going to do the first one. We agree? See how a small buy, small purchase, small ask. And now the big one, the one that really means something to an author. Please, after you have read the book, go online and write a review. When you write a review, it ranks up, and Amazon will go and actually promote that book for the author, which means their message gets out there, which means we can have a deeper, larger impact. For everybody who has written a review on my book, thank you. I appreciate you. You help expand the mission, and I deeply appreciate it. Without further ado, Dr. Terry Wager, give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Walter. Book, Quit Taking Your Own Bad Advice. The question I have for everyone is, why are we not doing more when we know we can? What is it that's getting in our way from doing that more that we want to? And we talk about mindset, and actually mindset is one of the hugest industries in our world, because people know that they need to get their mind right to move forward. But then why are we spending so much money on mindset and we're still not moving forward the way we want to? And what I've come up with is my experiences showed me that we actually get in our own way. We take that information in, we read it, we consume it, and then we think about it instead of acting on it. And something stops us from that action. Something stops us. We either have to get ready, or we have to start moving forward and talking and getting more information. How many people out there have gotten a lot of information and then they thought, before I pull the trigger, I need just a little bit more information. I need to crunch the numbers one more time. How many people have gone, you know what? I just need one more opinion. And then the interesting thing for me is I get the one more opinion. If I agree with it, then I'm good with the hesitation that I've done, because that opinion stopped me from moving forward. And if they say, no, go for it, then I got to go get one more opinion. And so we tend to get into our heads too much. And then one of the really weird things about how we work as human beings is this lack of acceptance in the world and this desire to not move forward, while at the same time really wanting to move forward. And so we're fighting. And what we're fighting with is ourselves. That's my experience. I fought with myself for years, myself, I have 3 of them, for years to try to move forward. And I don't know how to get out of that loop. Well, my training, my experience, all of the different coaching that I've been through has brought me to this place where I was able to put this idea together. Quit taking your own bad advice. How to stop overthinking and start following the brilliance of others. Because what I found is when we stop trying to think about how to follow somebody else and just do what they say, we start to move forward faster. And the funny thing is as we start moving forward, 2 things happen that I've found. 1, I start to really love the direction I'm going. And 2, I start to internally get more scared about what's going to happen. Am I going to be successful? Is it all going to fall apart? Oh, crap. And so really learning how to follow the instructions of others and stay on point and stay motivated. By the way I talk about motivation is it's just lack of fear. When I'm not afraid, I move forward. If I'm having trouble with my motivation, something triggered me and I got scared, and now I'm starting to listen to myself again, starting to interpret myself again. And so this book is all about how to dismantle that voice that keeps you moving forward, how to really start listening to the other people that are helping you move forward. And the funny thing is one of my major problems that I had, even when I started learning, is once I start getting good information, I start listening to myself, tell myself about what that information is. And so how to really stay on point with following the instructions, staying connected to those people who are helping you move forward, because that's the way we move forward together. We can do together what we cannot do alone. I have seen it time after time in my 20 years of helping people. And so we wrote this book. Christine and I really talked about a lot about how to put this thing together and how to move you forward. And it's really just a labor of my experience, my love, my passion for helping people move forward and watching their results. because my results only come through when I see other people have results, and I set my business up that way. So in closing, buy the book, check it out, take what you can. If you like it, put the review up. If you don't like it, just throw it away. Give it to somebody else.
I love what Terry just said. Let's give Terry a round of applause. And I learned this from T. Harv Eker. He said, look, you don't have to trust me, but don't trust yourself. Find out the principles, understand them, and then make decisions. But if this thing has gotten you to where you are today, you can't trust it anymore. It doesn't work. If you're not happy with your life, if you're not happy with how your health is, your wealth, or your relationships, don't trust this decision maker anymore. You don't have to trust what I'm saying. Go seek out the answers for yourself, but don't trust the thing that isn't working until you've fixed it, until you've gotten it right, until you've gotten your mindset shifted. Who here would like to learn how to buy the book? I just clicked the link. The link is in the chat, and I'm going to go really quick and experience. So you go over here and you click on buy now, and then it'll probably show up. No, it won't show up my credit card information, I think. And then place order.
Wait, stop. Don't do it.
No, it's done. I'm doing
There's no
it.
Audible link. There's no Audible link.
Wait, there's no Audible link? Oh, you know, I got to start reading now on tablet. Can I get that? Or are they going to give me an upsell? Is there an upsell here?
Was,
I can get,
was that
dude, you can get it right away on tablet if you purchase it.
volunteering to read my book into Audible?
Oh, I'm live streaming it. If you can screenshot
Well, it was kind of a
this.
joke because I always see Walter posting his books on Audible.
I think Damien's accent would add another level to the book.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know, right?
So at this point, I know the stress and the pressure that it takes to write a book. So again, let's give Terry Wager a round of applause. Give him a lot of support. If you believe that this book would add value to you, purchase it. If you believe that this book is not going to add value to you, please don't purchase it. I only want people who think that what Terry has delivered to them is valuable. If the information Terry has delivered to you over the past year of working with you guys has been good, and you think that he knows what he's talking about, Dr. Terry Wager knows what he's talking about with the mind, then purchase it. This is by no means where we get rich. We get rich through investing in real estate, through building businesses. We teach as philanthropy. We teach to give back. This is a bonus, a benefit of becoming wealthy. When you get free, you want to free other people. Does that make sense? Imagine a slave trapped in a prison for years. If they knew they had an opportunity to help out somebody who they knew was good back home, back where they'd escaped, do you think they wouldn't go back and take that opportunity to help them out? Hands to the camera if you know you would. That's all we're doing. We're just paying it forward. Trust me, the books are the hardest things we do. They are the absolute hardest thing the book is the hardest thing I've ever done. Every book I've ever written is the hardest thing I've ever done. It's very emotional. It's very draining. It takes a lot of time. Estorina, I work at night because I can't handle it during the day. It's a very, very difficult process.
I actually was getting up at 4:30 in the morning to do it in the morning because I work a little bit better in the morning. But to what Walter's talking about, writing the book, the whole time you're writing it, you got that other part of you going, no, don't say this. They're not going to care about this. They're not going to do good. They're not going to, you're stupid. It's like you're sitting there writing through that idea. And it's just an amazing, and I had to really actually focus on the idea of, I got to quit taking my own bad advice the whole time I'm writing the book, because we have this protection system that keeps us from putting ourselves out there and making ourselves vulnerable. And that is the one thing that kills every deal, is protection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So stop protecting yourself. Look, there's nothing out there that can hurt you or kill you. We don't live in Alaska. We don't live in Australia, right? There's no grizzly bears out there.
There's no
mountain
dingoes
lions.
eating
There's
babies.
no lions, tigers, or bears, right? Like, you live in America. Some of you live in Russia, Mother Russia. But most of you live in America where it's pretty safe. I mean, there's nothing out there that's going to kill you. Like, the risks you're looking at taking are emotional risks. You'll survive. Does that make sense? Awesome. At this point, I want to open it to the coaches. We'll go around the room. Coaches who have a tip or something that you believe was valuable, or something that you would give in contribution to Wealth Principle 49. And for anybody who does have questions, drop them in the chat. Darina or one of our other coaches, if you can keep an eye on the chat, any questions, make sure you just pop them out there. And we'll start with, we're not going to save the best for last. Mike Schein, what was your takeaway from Wealth Principle 49?
Well, I love this wealth principle because I think a lot of times we do get into our own heads and that stops us from succeeding. And the neat thing about this is that if you're just working to understand the other person in every situation, then you're out of your own head. You don't even think about all the analysis paralysis or any of that stuff. You're just looking to serve the other person and do what's best for them. And I just, as a high S, I just love helping other people. So that's what I love about this principle. Thank you.
Let's give Mike Schein a round of applause. Mike is a millionaire. He invests in stocks, he invests in real estate, he invests in business, but most importantly, he invests in himself and he invests in his family and he invests in his community. So let's give Mike a round of applause. He's a huge factor in what we do here. Thank you. We appreciate you, Mike. First of the year. Doug McGurk, you're up next. You rock speaking. Doug, a little NLP mastery.
Well, thank you. And congratulations, Terry and Christine. Give me a hand. Awesome. So excited. What a great book. I haven't read it yet, but just from what Terry shared, will help us understand ourselves more gooder. So that we
gooder. I got that in the book.
I was the bestest in my English class. But it's so true is the know thyself, right? Know thyself so that you can be thyself and ultimately love thyself. But that whole conversation around seeking to understand, that's the difference between knowing and doing. That we can close that gap by truly understanding someone else and not getting caught into that, internal conversation of the 3 worst words in the English language of I know that stop us from taking those actions. And when we step back and go, you know what, I don't know what that other person is thinking, and let me seek to understand, let me really dig a little bit deeper. And Walter, you exemplified that perfectly with your story about, the purchase that you made by seeking to understand what was really going on. And by doing so, you were able to get an incredible deal while helping someone at the same time. So if we don't take that time to get to learn about someone and get to learn ourselves, so that's why the investment in Terry's book is so powerful, we're not going to get to that next level. So great job as always.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. And if you've got noise in your backgrounds, let's just keep yourselves muted for a little while longer. I know that I've got a couple of coaches who don't always pop in on the call. So Ryan Mcdermott, you're staying here, right? You're not going to a kid's soccer game right now? All right, because I want to respect that. I want to make sure I get your opinion before I jump to somebody else. But I see Drew Martin is on the call, came in, hang out with us today. Drew helps a lot with our wholesalers, our wholesale mastermind. So Drew, I muted everybody's lines, but what would you say is the biggest takeaway from that somebody could get out of this wealth principle? Seek first to understand before being understood.
I mean, there's a lot of truth to this in a lot of ways. Understanding your seller and understanding who you're dealing with is, going to go, going to work wonders for you, because when you're going in there and just kind of like throwing up on a person and giving them everything you want to hear, you're not understanding what they want to hear, because that's what's important. And people buy from people that they like. So the more they like you, the more they're going to want to do business with you. And I mean, as far as, I love the idea of this book. I'm going to read it myself. I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, getting out of your own way is the biggest thing that's out there, and stop, and not, listening to others, or, or staying within a circle of people that are going nowhere. I mean, this is one of the biggest reasons why you want to surround yourself with people that are, up and to the right, and who are smarter and richer than you are, because you'll become smarter and richer by being around them. Whereas being around a circle of people that are, quite frankly, the people that you've been around forever, that aren't going anywhere in life and are complaining about everything that's going on in this world, all they're going to do is bring you down. So, I mean, I think one of the smartest things I ever did in my life years ago now was, and you hear people say it, but fired a lot of my friends and fired a lot of the people in my life, who realistically were sitting around smoking weed and going nowhere for the most part. So, it's just, it doesn't get you anywhere. And then, they'd be the first people to complain. We have a society today, that everywhere you turn on the TV everywhere, and, it's not fair. It's not fair. Well, guess what? Life is not fair. And either you're going to take it and you're going to put the effort in, or, sorry, you're going to get left behind, because, all this crazy stuff we see all over the place now, talking about how things aren't fair. Well, they never have been fair. They never will be fair. And the question is, what are you going to do with it, is what it comes down to. So, if I can encourage anything to anyone, I'd say, just get out of your own way and, and start doing you, because you're the solution.
I love that. Give Drew Martin a round of applause. It's so awesome to see you on today's call, Drew. Thank you so much for all your contributions to the community. We really appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
And Jen Sullivan, so I know coaches, hang on for a sec. Jen Sullivan recently started a business with me. So she is actually ghostwriting the 52 Weeks to Wealth. Let's give Jen a round of applause. I looked at the 52 Weeks to Wealth. I've already done the video. I've done the lesson. I've gotten the content created. And to put it into a book is a lot of work. And so Jen was actually transcribing some of my documents for me. She joined the mentorship and she was volunteering to transcribe documents. And I've looked at the 3 books I want to create. I want to create Get the Money, Be the Bank, and Become an Alchemist. And these 3 books, it was 52 Weeks to Wealth. So, which I used to call it Become an Alchemist. So 52 Weeks to Wealth and Get the Money and Be the Bank. Who would like those all done in 1 year? Hands to the camera if you'd like them all completed quickly, done in 1 year. I did too, but this one took me a year to create, and I realized by myself, I can't do it. And the only one that I could pass along to somebody else was the one that I'd already recorded all the videos on, the one that I'd already gone deep into depth on and created all the content, and all she has to do is listen to it and then write it eloquently, because sometimes I speak like I speak instead of how I should write. And so that's where a lot of the work comes in. And so I reached out to Jen and I said, Jen, you're doing amazing. I cannot believe that this is something she volunteered to do. She volunteered to transcribe my videos for me so that you could go and easily read if you want to read instead of listen to the video. And she was transcribing. They only allow like 5,000 characters, but she was writing 1,500 characters. And they wouldn't allow that in YouTube. So it struck in my head at one point when I was evaluating, I can't do it all by myself. Who could I ask? Who has this ability? Who naturally was looking to provide this value? And I asked Jen, because she said, she's in the mentorship. She's looking to double her income. She's looking to make more money. So I said, Jen, what do you think about a business like this? Would you take on this project if I could pay you something? And she said, yes. And then I got to thinking, what if we turn this into a business? How many people here know they got a book inside of them, know they want to be a coach at some point, but also know that they don't want to spend the 6 months to 12 months it takes to write the book? They'd much rather do a couple of videos, maybe put their thoughts out there, have a conversation with me or Jen and kind of go through an interview. And then it'd be much easier to go and write that book. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. It'd be worth it. Yeah, I know. I thought the same thing too. And that's why I've set it up. And I told Jen, look, I will promote this as long as I like the content of the quality of the product you put out with me. If you put out a great product for the 52 Weeks to Wealth, I will promote this across the entire community. Is that fair? If she delivers for me, she can deliver for you. Excellent. I told her, this is the biggest project that I've ever undertook. And so to bring in somebody else is a sign that it's the right thing to do, because I would not have brought somebody in that I didn't trust. And Jen is doing an amazing job. So I just want to give her a round of applause. Thank you, Jen, for everything you're doing so far. It's huge value. And she's one of the beta readers on Get the Deal. And she did a lot of work on the first few chapters and has made a significant difference. So the book is just about ready. In fact, I recorded 2 chapters last night of the audio version. because every single one of you has asked me, okay, great, you got a book, I'll buy it, whatever, but when does the audio come out? And because I know many of the coaches are like, well, why don't you just go pay somebody to do the audio? Because I sell my voice. You wouldn't ask Jay-Z to go and ask somebody else rap his songs. Does that make sense? We agree? Beyonce is not about to go sell her lyrics to somebody else. Beyonce's voice is what you pay for. And it's the same with the audiobook. I hate listening to an audiobook that's not read by the author. I don't care if the author reads like crap. I want to know who that guy is or who that girl is. I just want to know who wrote this book. Maybe they don't read so well, but I want to know. Maybe they can't articulate themselves, but I want to know that about them. It gives me a little more insight into the mindset of the author. Don't worry. I think I articulate better on this one than I did on the other one. I also discovered that my new studio is my walk-in closet, because apparently my office has a lot of road noise that I did not know about. In life, you don't notice these things until it's dead silent and you replay and you hear a car drive by. Pay attention. Pay attention today. In your house, I guarantee you, wherever you live, it's not quiet. You will be surprised that in your home, in fact, the furnace that I never even noticed before just turned on and kicked out air conditioning because I'm in Tampa, baby. Living my dream life, living exactly where I want to live. Moved down from the frigid Arctic tundra of Massachusetts. Darina's actually over in Russia doing her. Yeah, there's a studio right there. Look at Darina's screen. So I put my laptop up, I grabbed a microphone. And I discovered if I close all the doors in the house and I go into the walk-in closet in the center of the house, it's dead quiet. Nothing. I now have a new place to meditate. Right there next to my 100 Millionaire shirts, Real Estate Alchemist shirts. I'm going to sit down in a quiet space, but I'll be reading the book. I'll be reading the book the rest of the week. Darina asked me what my timeline was. I said, by Friday, I will have it done. And she said, wow, that's really fast. And I told her, do I do anything reasonable? I may or may not hit it, but I will do everything I can. I will not sleep. I will just push until I get this thing recorded. It takes me about 2 hours to do 2 chapters, which means I got 17 hours ahead of me. And so thank you for your support as I probably do this third shift so there's less noise. And so I can do it in a quiet space and without my phones blowing up over the next week. That's where I'll be. So if anybody's wondering, why am I only responding late at night or early in the morning? That's the reason. I'm working hard for you. I'm putting out a product that you asked for. And thank you for your patience. Let's give this community a round of applause before we jump onto the coaches. Thank you guys for delivering, letting me know what you wanted, telling me when I ask, hey, what are you looking for? What will be the most valuable? You asked for how to find deals. I will deliver. Give you a couple more weeks. We're almost done. Next up, Ryan Mcdermott. It's good to see you. It's nice to see that you're not out with your kids, although I love hearing that you're with your kids. I also miss you. So it's good to see you, Ryan. What would you say is your takeaway from Wealth Principle 49?
Yeah. So, well, first, before I unpack that, I love that you compared yourself to Jay-Z and Beyonce. I think that's absolutely appropriate. That's fantastic. Well done.
Billionaires, bro. Hang out with the billionaires.
100%. And congrats to Terry and Christine on their new book. I can't wait to read it. And on this topic, in this particular book, I'm holding it here, this How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is the first self-help book I ever read. My dad gave it to me, actually, when I was struggling in my first job out of college, long before I owned a business, along with the whole box set. This thing is probably from the 1960s. But I had to imagine, Terry's got the old version with the frayed pages. I love it. And I remember reading this, and the thing that jumped out at me in this book, there's a section on basically what would Socrates do? And it basically talks about the Secretion Method. And, I had studied him in college, but never really thought about Socrates in modern day, what you would do. And I'm just going to read just a quick thing here from the book. It's his method. Did he tell people they were wrong? No. Oh no, not Socrates. He was too far adroit for that. His whole technique, now called the Socratic method, was based upon getting a yes response. He asked questions with which his opponent would have to agree. He kept on winning one admission after another until he had an armful of yeses. kept asking questions until finally, almost without realizing it, his opponent found himself embracing a conclusion that he would have bitterly denied a few minutes earlier. And when I read this, it completely changed the way I would have conversations with my boss, who I was not getting along with friends, with partners. And I almost do this sort of, it's almost a reflex for me at this point. But anybody who has to sell anything, and even if your title is not sales, you are selling. We talked about that today. Even if you're an investor, you're buying, everybody's selling. Understanding and just asking questions. It works if you've got abrasive relatives that you have political discussions with. It's amazing. I've watched it over and over again, and you just keep asking questions and be very soft about it. And you'll get to where you want to go. So that's my lesson. Thank you.
Ryan McDermott, our Series 7 financial advisor, has given us great philosophies from Socrates, Socratic Method. Let's give Ryan McDermott a round of applause again. He's phenomenal. Just love having you in the group, Ryan. You've helped a lot of people diversify their wealth, protect their wealth, and set up a plan for the future. A lot of times people ask which coach to talk to first. Well, it really depends on what you're looking to do. But then they'll say, well, I don't have enough money to go talk to Ryan yet. If you don't have enough money, it's time to talk to Ryan. Set up the plan now before you have too much money and you've lost money to taxes or to inflation. Let's set the plan up so you know what to do. Does that make sense? It's like when people ask me, oh, I want to buy a house, but I'm not ready to get pre-approved yet. You should probably go find out the pre-approval process before you do the right thing to get ready for a house. Does that make sense? Go and get a professional's opinion before you go after building your plan. Remember, we don't know what we don't know. The most dangerous thing in the universe, aside from the most dangerous three words Doug mentioned, I know that, is what you think you know. That's just not so. It's what you think you know. That's just not so. That's the most dangerous philosophy. When you think that you're right, but you're not, because you haven't gained the knowledge yet. But you believe yourself so much that you'll fight, instead of listening to the other person, taking their side. And maybe you discover that they're actually right. And thank God you didn't look like a fool by disagreeing with them. Now you win. And that's the secret to that book, the How to Win Friends and Influence People. 3 wins, 3 levels of wins. In fact, he also talks about, well, not him, but another author talks about it in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which Ryan was my first book in success when I was back in college, which I did not finish, by the way. So no advantage here. I promise. I am just as uneducated as the people who never went to college, and I have spent way more money in my education than the people who did go to college. I just went to the alternative classes and courses. And I believe in education. I believe in higher education. If it's helped you with your business, do it. And if you think it's the right thing for you, do it. Take action. Go to college. And if you believe that you're an entrepreneur, I still think you should go to college. Just build a business while you do it. There's no excuses not to build a business. No excuses not to invest. College didn't have the courses I wanted. And so I had to find the courses I wanted. I had to go find the teachers I was looking for. I'm not a history buff like my girlfriend is. My girlfriend's mom is a history buff. Darina loves history. Darina's mom loves history. Elena loves history. For me, I'm like, oh, tell me economic history. Like, let's have a conversation about the trend, right? The trend is my friend. I want to know what happened in 2008. Like, if I can figure that out, maybe I can see the future. I want to know what happened to Bitcoin in 2017, because maybe that's what's happening now. Maybe I can read the trend, right? Who here knows that history is important? It is. If you know how to apply it, if you understand that everything that's happened in the past will happen again. Look at 2020 with 2020 vision. Look at 2021 with 2020 vision. And you'll be all right. You'll be okay. Just understand that this year looks a lot like last year. It's going to look a lot like last year. And if you're waiting for something to change, it better be you. You better be what changes, because 2021 is going to be a lot like 2020. We are not going back to the way things were. It doesn't make sense. Economically, financially, and emotionally, people don't want to go back to the way things were. Some do, but those are the people who've always lagged with technology. Those are the people who've always lagged with the new purchase, with the new style, the new thing. The innovators have already moved and they're staying there. The people who follow right after, the early adopters, have already moved and they're staying here. Does that make sense? I tried out virtual reality for the first time the other day. I'm ordering 2, one for me, one for Darina. I'm not doing business meetings via Zoom anymore. Me and Ron will be using whiteboards, infinite whiteboards. Like, it is insane what we can do in the virtual room. So trust me, the future is here. We're not going back. Every video, every movie in the future, everybody's in efficiency housing, right? You look at the doomsday videos, the future, the bleak, the way it is, everybody's in a virtual world in efficiency housing. That's what we're buying. That's where we're going. We're investors who see the future because the future's already been written. There's a lot of things that you can't change about economy, about sociology, about culture, about demographics, migratory patterns. As investors, the more you study them, the better off you'll be. There's a book called Big Shifts Ahead. I suggest everybody read it in 2021. Ron and I will be raising capital. We're working on our private placement memorandum and our prospectus this week and next week, and we'll be submitting it out. We'll be raising capital to do some purchases. We're going to be doing a 150 unit purchase in Tampa. I know that everybody wants to know the details on the purchase right now. I have not identified the property. I will not be doing so until about March, April. But once I do, I will let you know. We will be doing the private placement memorandum. We'll be sharing it around. So if you're interested, send me a message. I'll make sure that you're connected with us. My goal in that business is to double the company's value every year. So if you invest and I do my job, you do well too. Does that make sense? I can't promise it. I can't guarantee it. All I can tell you is what I've done the last 5 years is what I continue and I aim to continue to do for the next 5 years. And if you stay with me, if you learn my process, you can do the same thing for yourself. Do we agree that's something valuable? Learn the process, learn the system, stick with people who are doing it. Awesome. Awesome. This is a smart room. Give yourselves a round of applause. We've got a couple more coaches. Who have I missed? Christine McGinley. Where you at, girl? Generator coaching.
Right here. I just want to say a big congratulations to my honey for doing the book and doing it together during COVID.
I've always wondered what you guys call yourselves. Now I know it's your honey. Terry, I've got this.
Although neither one of us really like honey, so like the food, which is kind of a side note. So be understood. I think that's key to marketing. You got to know what your market wants, what they're looking for. We always say, Walter said it today, it's the problem you solve for them. So many times we just want to jump right into the solution. Well, they're not even thinking about the solution. They just want their problem freaking solved. That's all that they're looking for, is to get out of where they are because there's something greater out there. You don't need to necessarily tell them what's greater out there. I mean, you know what's greater for you.
Absolutely.
And so ask them, what do you really want? And that's what you're going to provide for them. Knowing you don't know what they're looking for, but you can solve the problem that they're having. And that's what they want. They want to get out of whatever that problem is. If they want more income, if they want to lose 20 pounds, if they need somebody to clean up their books, to save them on taxes, to get their cash flow going. That's what these people in this room do. Maybe they want some inspiration and go to a paint party. Maybe they need a gathering for their friends to, get together and to have something besides the COVID that everybody says they're experiencing. Paint party, that's a great way to jump on a call with friends and give some money to Sandra.
Awesome. I love it. Let's give Christine a round of applause. Christine, you got more? Did I cut you off there?
No, I'm good. Let's keep going. I'm sure Mr. Jaworski has a tip or two.
Yeah, I can't say I saved the best for last. I saved the scaredy cat for last, because if I say that about Mike will get upset. He knows he's the best.
But we have Darina to go too.
No, I love
right.
Mitch Jaworski. I'm a huge fan of his. Yeah.
Don't let me forget Darina, Mitch. Ladies first, bro. You know how it is.
Dude, Darina's the best. That's why I thought you were saving him for last.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
See what I just did?
I see. Wow. Okay, guys, do not let me forget Darina. If I do, she gets so upset. And then
I'm just
It's like, I
warm-up
had things
act
to
for
deliver.
Dorena.
I got things, Walter, and you didn't give me a chance to give back. And then for a whole week, she feels like she let down the community. So I promise.
Mitch is going to do a book on dating, apparently.
All right, I'll write that too, Mike. I think I can figure it out. I'll
Scaredy
have to
Cat
lean on
Guide
Terry and
to
Christine a
finding the
bit.
perfect spouse, to asking out.
How to be courageous in your dating life. The courageous cat.
The
Oh,
courageous
there you
cat.
go.
Mitch, your takeaway.
So it's funny because Ryan McDermott just disappeared on us, and the whole call, I was wondering the question in his background that he took off, and now we can't see it all. And how well do you know your finances, or something to that extent? And now he's gone to give me answers. But I think that's a good question for everyone. On a side note, how well do you know your financial, well-being, your finances, all that stuff? And that's something that obviously Terry can help you with. But the great thing about letting all the other coaches speak is that I can just say, yes, that. So, I mean, so many good points. I mean, when Doug was talking about like the kind of like understanding and just, kind of about seeking to understand and being understood. I mean, in real estate, I think every single student I have, it comes up. It's like, we make money in real estate solving problems. Like every time they get frustrated, I'm like, no, that's not a problem. That's an opportunity to make money. And that's what we're doing. We're solving problems, and you can't solve someone's problem if you don't understand. Like, Doug was mentioning, if you go in there and you're just like, I this, I that, portraying what it is that you want to do for them. It's like, no, you have to figure out what they need and understanding them. And then from there, you can solve their problem and therefore make money. Because in real estate, we make money solving problems. And that holds true for all businesses. You're solving a problem. You're either making life easier. Like, look at what Amazon did. Look what Jeff Bezos did. I mean, he basically streamlined merchandising and buying products. He solved the problem we didn't even realize we had.
He even just allowed you to make money. So if you click that affiliate link that Mitch Jorsky dropped, he allows you to have an income stream. So Mitch will get paid. By the way, buy anything else on that same purchase, we get paid from that too. So go to my website, click on the 52 Weeks to Wealth, pick one of those books. You don't have to buy the book. Just go and shop from that link. Mitch Jorsky does it for me. I do it for him.
and that's why
shop from each other's links.
Yeah. And that's why team, like, Terry said it earlier, he talked about team, and he talked about how you can get so much further ahead with, a team of people and working with people and as a community than you can alone. And I mean, that's, I learned about the Amazon affiliate links from you. I think you learned from Mitch Durfee, who's like the king of affiliate links. You know what I mean? So it's just like, without that team effect, and it's the same thing. I mean, the best thing I always can do is just use myself as an example. Like, that's lead by example is something that I don't know. I grew up with that. So I try and, use that. And my real estate investing, it's been 6 years now since I started real estate investing. I've acquired more properties in the last 2 years since I started basically networking and teaming up with people than I did in the first 4. When I was Mr. Lone Wolf, I don't trust anybody. I got this. I'm going to handle it myself. I'm going to do every piece of every transaction, because if I don't do it, the other person's going to screw it up. Like, no, just find good people and then leverage those people, and everyone wins, and you grow faster, and you can 10x your growth, Grant Cardone style. So, but you do have to get out of your way. Stop being ready to be ready and just do the damn thing. So if you're struggling with that, there's 8,000 ways to get that solved, and reading Terry's book is one of them. So just take action, 2021. And if you want to grow your real estate investing, as me and Galter and Mike like to say all the time, get your name on deeds.
Names on deeds. That was the premise of my first book, Broke to $250,000. If you get one thing from this book, it's get your name on deeds. It's a slight little sentence that I put in the middle of the book, but that was my discovery. That was the key to success. Buy a house a year. Get your name on the deed. Awesome. Let's give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. Phenomenal insight. And I do have a comment to make. Mitch is right. I've bought more property in the last year than I bought in my entire career. In the last 12 months. I bought more in the last 12. Well, I guess now it's the last 13 months or the last 14 months. So I bought more in the last 14 months than I bought in my entire career. And guess what? This year, I'll buy 3 times as much, because I'm opening the company to partnerships. I'm opening the fund. The private placement allows you and other people that I trust and like to join in with us. And so I can go and expand much bigger. As long as I kept it to myself, and even me and Ron still have this conversation sometimes. We're like, man, do we really want to sell 10%? Do we really want to open it up? And the point is, yes, that's the only way we can get huge. It's the only way we can get to where we want to go. We've got to be able to trust and like and care about our shareholders now, because we've always been the shareholders. Now we get to bring in a community and say we care about them. Now we're working for them. And it's people like Manny and Raj and Mike Schein and Terry and Mitch and Ryan who push me to say, hey, well, I want to do a deal with you. Let's partner up on a deal. And it keeps me thinking, well, I guess I can't do another 50 unit deal. I got to do something bigger, because now I got to bring these guys. I got to make them money. So now I've got to go do bigger deals. I got to go after bigger stuff. And I already told Darina, we're going after 300 next year to start. Who knows? I may do 300 this year, but I'm aiming at 150. I'm aiming at 150. If it happens fast enough, I'll throw another one down. I'll go add another one, but one at a time. The way I see it is this community is expanding so quickly. Deals flow to us so fast that it may be too easy. 150 may be thinking small. This may be a very easy swing for us. And so thank you for all of the motivation that I get every time I talk to one of you, every time I do a one-on-one session. If you're interested in the mentorship, yes, as I promised, the price did go up. For everybody who has already gotten into the mentorship, give yourselves a round of applause. Previously in 2020, it was $1,000. In 2021, it is $1,200. The reason we increased the price is because we're adding more value and we didn't price it properly. I've also created another product that does not include the one-on-one coaching sessions with the coaches, but it does include the group sessions with the coaches, like Terry was talking about, an affordable program that's a way for you to get in. We created a product that is now $500 instead of the $1,000, instead of the $1,200. It's $500, and it allows you to get into the mentorship program. The only difference is it doesn't take our one-on-one time. Does that make sense? Hands to the camera if you understand how valuable our time is, how much work it is for us to go and make those calls. So we created the program. Now you get us in the group session. You get the Alchemist University. You get the personality test. You get the assessment. You get to go through the process, the net worth tracker. You get all of our tools and resources and our events. And you only get to give us $500 instead of the $1,200. I've reduced the price. And for everybody who's wondering about the mastermind, did I up the price of the mastermind? Yes, I did. I went from $2,500 to $5,000, except I did one thing differently this time. When you buy the mastermind in 2021, you also get the mentorship included with the one-on-ones, with those sessions, with the 8 weeks of intensive mentoring. This way, I can sell a product that I know is extremely valuable. You're getting the mastermind and the mentorship tied in, so I can guarantee that for the next year, we kick butt together. Does that make sense? So for anybody who's concerned that the mastermind did go up in price, if you're already in the mentorship, don't worry. You get to go through again. Who's been through the mentorship and thought, man, I wish I could do that again? Yeah, I know. I listened. I get it. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. I'm looking to add value, but the only way I can do that is if I ask you what you're looking for. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for your suggestions, for your requests, for the things that you say and ask for to allow us to be able to get to the next level. I'm building 100 millionaires. You know what I'm looking for. I am polarizing. I'm clear. I'm to the point. In 2021, I'm buying 150 units for our community in Tampa. In 2021, I'm building 100 millionaires. That's it. That's all I'm going after. I'm hiring a sales team to help me do it right now. I'm paying very good commissions. I'm paying more than everybody else in the industry because the mission is more important. I'm okay with giving. I looked at the math. I told Ron, I was like, yeah, we're going to give away about $300,000 in order to do this. It could be close to $500,000. But $500,000 given to our sales team and to our commissions through affiliate marketing means that we've built 100 millionaires. Case closed. Not even worth having the conversation. Does that make sense? So if you know somebody who's looking for an opportunity to add value to other people, if you know somebody who's looking to learn sales, they'll be learning from me personally, from Terry Wager, from Dorina. If you're looking to get to the next level, an ancillary stream of income, if you're a great digital marketer and you'd like to learn how you can help us out build this mission, sell some mentorship with us, sell some of our other basic programs, then thank you. You're welcome to join us. The affiliate program will be starting second week of January. And the reason we're waiting until the second week of January is because my Russian princess is in Russia. And I cannot operate without her as easily or as much fun. And I want to make sure that I have all people on board before we start this process. And I've deliberately asked her to make sure she takes time for her family and takes time to spend quality time while she's out there. She doesn't have to think about the business or our mission. And so let's give Dorina a round of applause. She's absolutely amazing. And I would not be able to build this community the way we have as quickly as we have without her. Mike Schein, I see your hand up.
I just want to say thank you, Walter, because now I know what you call Dorina, your Russian princess. So. I've been wondering that for a long time, and now I know.
Yeah, so Christine calls Terry honey, and
All
her honey,
secrets coming
and
out
that is
today.
yep, our Russian princess. I don't know what she calls me though, so we'll have to figure that one out. That's yet to be discovered.
I would have thought it was babushka.
The babushka, no, that's not a good thing, David. You're gonna get us in trouble. I learned that one from Ron Bowling, and I regret the day that I heard it. So, ladies and gentlemen, have I missed somebody? Patrick Sullivan, you're still hanging out. Pat, it's good to see you, my friend. You get your full setup set up?
Almost. I got to get somebody to help me move a table up to the upstairs because I actually am making a whole studio.
Don't you have like 17 pets that you could utilize? Like pull the tarantulas
No, we
out
actually have
and
19 now.
wow. So Patrick, your takeaway from Wealth Principle 49.
So you always drop. I'm just going to assume you're going to ask me to talk every time so I can actually think of something better to say.
Yeah, I mean, you got that microphone in front of you, so I just feel like you got things to say. It's just, it comes with the territory.
What, Mike?
But I always like coming into these and, trying to pick up other things and do stuff. And I can't tell you how many times I've ever been to something and I'll sit there for 3 days and I learned something for 30 seconds and it made it worth it going to something for 3 days. Because as you obviously know, like a lot of things we go over are things that I already do or know how to do, but there's always little bits of things that you pick up on or learn about or people that you meet. And actually like Terry and I had quite a conversation the other day, which I think is going to lead to all kinds of good things. But some of the other things that I think who was talking, the first person you had talking, I believe actually, that I came from like nothing, like less than nothing. Like I keep a food stamp on my desk to remind me of the fact that I came from less than nothing. And everybody always kind of assumes that, dad wrote me a check and everything kind of worked out great and invested. I did the Trump model and I didn't do any of that. No one has ever given me $1 of anything in my life that I didn't have to immediately pay back to them at some absurd interest rate. So it's something that everybody can do. I've never been to college. I dropped out of high school. I only just got a GED a couple of years ago because I had to get a real estate license in New Jersey. I really wanted to make it my whole life without ever having one, but it's
Patrick,
requirements.
As one of the bald brethren, brother, I understand. Everybody thinks because we're bald and we've got money that we were born this way, that our parents were rich, and it's because Bezos shaved his head, and now everybody just assumes we're billionaires because we have shaved heads.
Yeah, I mean, Howie's definitely the next guy in here just because he's got the right haircut.
That's it.
It's
Howie's
the
on his
primary
way
function.
up. Chris Hayward, Robert, George White, if he's still on the call, like our shiny brethren, we put it out there. We are radiant. The sun bounces right back, right? The sun may deflect from other people, but for us, it reflects. We shine bright, my friends. Let's give Patrick a round of applause. We appreciate you having in here. Patrick's created a lot of success for himself as a millionaire through real estate and business. And it's really great to have him in the community, giving back and contributing. I also want to point out for anybody who's not on our Monday night calls, the Wholesaling Mastermind, where we talk about how to find deals off market, get the money, get the deals, and do a lot of cold calling and scripts. Drew Martin was able to make $1 million with his partner this year in cash, in closed deals, acquired property profits. So let's give Drew Martin and his partner a round of applause. They set the goal, and about mid-year, he told me he already locked down 700,000. And towards the end of the year, he said he knew he was going to hit it. He set the goal early on with his partner. They pushed hard. They did things they never did before. Drew finally flew out to North Carolina where he was investing. He was living in Florida, and he finally started every week going out to North Carolina. And he was doing the podcast. He was doing a 15 minutes gold podcast. He was jumping in the Monday night calls. He's teaching, training, educating other wholesalers to send him leads. And he was flying out to North Carolina, and he told me, he said, man, I'm going to do it. This year, I'm making $1 million. This year, we're pulling it in. And he closed on it. He did it with his partner. He did it with somebody else. His partner moved to North Carolina. These guys are committed. They did what had to be done to hit their goal. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And I'm so proud to know you and to be a close friend and to have traveled across the country with you and gone to all those great events together. So thank you, Drew. It's a big step, but this is just the beginning for you, brother.
Oh, it is. It is just the beginning, without a doubt. The future is bright, and it's just as bright for everybody else. You just got to go out there and get it.
That's it. The universe, if you thought about it, if you were able to think about it, that means the universe is handing it to you. The only thing you have to do is take it. And action is the result. The things you do, the steps you take, the mentors, the coaches, the hiring, the purchases, the acquisitions, the books, the education, the scared getting out of your comfort zone, that action is what brings you what you've already thought about. If you could think about it, if you could imagine it in your head, you can have it. The universe wants to give it to you. The only thing you have to do is go and take it. Take the action that receives it. Be honest, be moral, be ethical. And if you can do those three things, I don't care what it takes. Whatever it takes, as long as you're honest, moral, and ethical. There are no rules. Do whatever it takes to get what you desire. Do whatever it takes to get what you deserve. You are worthy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an amazing time hanging out with you. I hope you have a blessed day. Go out there and create some blessings for somebody else. Smile, add value. Make sure that you spend some time with your family, the people that
I
you
want
love.
blessings from Darina. Darina, what are the
Darina.
blessings you have for us?
You got blessings? Oh, wait. Mitch, did you just save me?
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I just did it so smooth and you called
Yes.
yourself out.
You are literally one of my best friends. I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you. Darina, your lessons from Mother Russia.
Well,
Schein saved me a few weeks ago. Mitch saved me now. I appreciate you guys. Keep me honest.
thanks, Mitch. I want to say that I'm so happy to, oh my God, we need some napkins now. Terry, Christine, I'm glad you finished it. What a year to start now. Imagine everyone is ordering your book, and this is the first book of the year they're going to read. Like, how amazing is that? And I'm here with my family. Everybody has a family. Sometimes they're far away. And I'm learning a lesson that, when I don't see them for the whole year, I come in and I gotta seek to understand them first, because time goes fast, and if without this community, I probably wouldn't be able to actually recognize that in order for me to build a rapport, to make this law of reciprocity work, I gotta seek to understand them, because we don't see each other that often. And sometimes we come in someone's house and set our rules, and we don't even know what they want and why they do what they do. If you just pause for a second, listen to what they say. And Walter, you have that saying in your book. It's somewhere in the middle in the first book, when you say, if you think you're listening, stop and listen. And that's what I'm using every single day, and it works because it makes my relationship with my family better. So how you do everything is how you do anything. And family comes, exactly, Terry, that's the book. And that's the principle, one of the wealth principles that we used in the past. And it's so incredibly important, even if no matter what you do, whether it's a sale, whether it's a motivated buyer, seller, you're delivering a product, or you want everybody to join for the paint night. you're gonna know what they want and what they think about right this second, and then everything just gets easier. So family is a good, I would say, a good practice, I guess, in life, how you can become successful by listening to others first. And I have my beautiful sister here. I'm very proud of her because she joined me for the whole 2 hours. Our butt hurts, but we're still here. And my mom is right in front of us listening to the whole thing. So give my family a round of applause.
And let's give Darina a round of applause. I do have one more special announcement to make, and this is for everybody who has signed up for the mentorship at the last hour, who got into the mentorship, whether you bought with silver, whether you bought with cash, whether you bought with Bitcoin, or someone very special, Peter Brown, who bought with gold backs. Now, these are not the gold backs that he purchased, he gave us, but these are feng shui that I purchased about a year ago. I was looking to manifest gold backs into my life. And wouldn't you know, Peter said, I wanted to be different. I want to pay in something you've never seen before. And I didn't know what these were. I had no clue what these were. I just saw them in the store and they had Uncle Trump on them. So, you know, I did, I did go and purchase. And it was almost a way to be polarizing and have fun with the community, because some people don't like them, some people do. And I had a blast just hanging out with it. But it manifested goldbacks into me and Ron's treasure chest. So, and it brought Peter in, gave him a cool way to join our community. For everybody who did join this month and this week, let's give each other a round of applause, and Peter Brown especially for the goldbacks. Very cool, man. I love that you brought a unique way to do this. For everybody else, go forth, be positive, be productive. Let's listen to Miss Jorsky one more time. You saved me in the past, and
I just wanted to say, listen, you know, it goes back to leading by example. So, you know, we're helping people, we're coaching people, but at the same time, we're always still learning and growing. And a bunch of us are jumping on Rod Khalif's free goal setting workshop at 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like a family affair. I'm sure he's got his legions of followers are going to be on it as well. But the point is, you know, always be learning, always be growing, you know, get busy living or get busy dying. And given that it's the new year, I'm going to be completely self-serving and have a moment with Mike Schein and quote a Rush lyric. And it's every day we're standing in a time capsule, racing down a river from the past. Every day we're standing in a wind tunnel, facing down the future, coming fast. Clock doesn't stop, people. Take action every day.
give these guys a round of applause. I appreciate the coaches. Mike Schein.
I just want to make sure, Walter, New Year, you get a round of applause. You do a great job. You head this community. I'm so psyched to be a part of that. Good job, Walter.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Amen.
When I started, I had nothing. I knew nothing. I was no one. I literally was sitting in the room, terrified to be there, sweating, didn't think I belonged. I went to that first event. I was scared and I didn't want to make eye contact with anyone. But when the speaker came on stage and he revealed the secrets to becoming wealthy, that they were all up here, I promised myself that one day I would learn. I didn't care if it took me 3 years, if it took me 5 years, if it took me 7 years, if it took me 10 years. One day I would learn how to figure out money, and then I would teach people, once I'd learned it, how they could get out of their own financial way, how they could figure out wealth, how to build abundance. I'm on that mission today. I'm building 100 million. I'm building more wealth than I've ever built for other people before in the past. And I thank you so much for being on this mission with me. You are a part of it. This is Alchemist Nation. We are a team, we're a family, we're a community. If there's anything that I can do to help you and take you forward and get you moving, please shoot me a text, send me a message at waltermorello.com, or go to Instagram, or go to Facebook, or go to the other one that nobody goes to, LinkedIn, and send me a message and I will respond. I am on there. So please make sure that there's something that I can do to add value. Send me a message, make the request. If you're scared about jumping into something, let me know. If you'd like to join the mentorship, reach out to me, reach out to Darina, reach out to any of the coaches. Cheers to your success when you have a choice.
Always work with the best.
Always work with the best.
Work with the best.